Okay, how is that? It's doing it off of video capture instead of mic. Yeah, you're gonna have double sound for a second. I'm working on it. There you go. How is that? I'm sorry about that. Shall we try this? The third time's a charm. Shall we say it?
Let's make sure they can actually fully hear us first.
I don't have my ears in, so that's pretty loud.
Some nominations said much better.
Awesome.
And I can hear it through the phone.
Okay.
Third time's a charm. Maybe.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Type in the comments below.
Somnambule Nation, you are the first commenter of the day. Welcome. Zella Black, welcome in. How are you?
Hello.
Today we are talking about. Did you just bite me? Did you just bite me? She just bit me.
You got the British accent. You got the British accent.
No, wait.
You said me instead of me.
This morning, well, first things first, let's get our Ryze ready.
Yeah, we need it.
Definitely. Did you remember to grab it out the box?
I don't.
Box.
Which box?
Right there, with the pineapple. Yes. Ta-da!
Gizmo's
What the heck?
Gizmo's vest is holding on like there's no tomorrow.
Isn't that cute? That's for Gizmo.
For those of you who don't know, Gizmo is our bearded dragon.
For those of you that don't know, look in the comment section. You'll see Gizmo the Garbachuan.
And that's a picture of him.
Yes, an old picture of him. We gotta update that.
Yeah, he's not so tiny no more.
No, he is not.
He's becoming a big boy.
He's becoming a big baby.
Yeah.
Kind of like his auntie.
I've always been a big baby.
We know this. Hence the words. Okay. There it is. I was gonna say, I know my spoon was right there, but people like to move it, so I had to search. You want to grab the water, please, and thank you. Yeah. So we are going to enjoy our Ryze Mushroom Coffee.
Without burning myself today.
It is available at ryzesuperfoods.com. Yeah. And if you do decide to order some, at the very end, Ryze Indica. If you do decide to order some, at the very end you can put in a coupon, type in capital M, lowercase RZ, capital W, lowercase ILD, capital W, lowercase OLF, and get 15% off. Plus whatever discounts they have going at the time. So it could be as much as, what was it, that one time, 65% off?
That's a pretty big percentage off.
Yeah. Ow. Why do they call it the funny bone?
I have no clue.
That's not so funny. Shh.
Sorry, I'm trying to update my boyfriend. Telling him that we got the audio fixed.
Well, my spoons are downstairs. So, can you get that? No. I should have one up here. Okay. I have two up here. The two that I was talking about are downstairs. Are you going to stir your coffee? Hey.
Hey, sorry.
Time to put that away.
I know.
Stir your coffee.
Felt burning myself.
Yes, please.
And it'd be actually fun to burn myself today. Hey, tiny hints. At least it would get my mind off my stomach burden.
No, it would not.
It would?
What, for like a whole whopping 2 seconds?
Yeah, which is enough time.
Oh boy. Okay. So this morning we are talking about incarceration and the effects it has on the family. I'm gonna set that down. Let it cool down just a tiny bit. Have you ever had a loved one end up in jail? I know I have. How about you? Yeah. I actually asked my husband to come up with a topic for Rise and Shine. And he did a very good one. So the topic is the effects of incarceration on the spouse and children. People don't really think about that. They think about, oh, the people that are in jail. Whether it be a minor slap on the wrist that they shouldn't have got jail time for, or whether it be something really serious. So one of the things that really irks me is in order to be able to speak to your loved ones, you have to pay out the ass. And I'm not kidding. If you want to be able to speak to your loved ones, typically it's about 30 cents per minute. Yeah. And then if they're in a different state, it's usually a little bit more. So let's look at some statistics, shall we? What do you think? Are you gonna sit up?
I am sitting up.
Put that away, goofball.
I'm not even on it. Just need something to fidget.
Apparently I need to wake up. Big time. Let's start with we will talk about one of the leading causes of incarceration. But first, we are going to look at the hidden consequences and the hidden consequences impact incarceration on dependent children. The way they word it is a lot worse. Family members of incarcerated individuals are often referred to as the hidden victims. Victims of the criminal justice system, sorry, the light's in my way, who are neither acknowledged nor given a platform to be heard. These hidden victims receive little support, personal support, and do not benefit from the systematic societal mechanisms generally available to direct crime victims, despite their prevalence and their similarities to direct crime victims. Children whose parents are involved in the criminal justice system, in particular, face a host of challenges: the difficulties, the psychological strain, antisocial behavior, suspension or expulsion from school, economic hardship, and criminal activity. It is difficult to predict how a child will fare when a parent is intermittently or continuously incarcerated. And research findings on these children's risk factors are mixed. However, research suggests that strength or weakness of the parent-child bond and the quality of the child and family's social support system play significant roles in the child's ability to overcome challenges and succeed in life. Therefore, it is critical that correctional practitioners develop strong partnerships with law enforcement, public schools, and child welfare agencies to understand the unique dynamics of the family in question and try to ensure a safety net for the child and successful reentry for the incarcerated parent. Excuse me 1 second, guys. I will be right back. Sorry about that.
Phantom, welcome in. Welcome in, Phantom. Your tablet's at 18%.
The article summarizes the range of risk factors facing children of incarcerated parents. It also cautions against universal policy solutions that seek to address these risk factors, but do not take into account the child's unique needs, the child's relationship with the incarcerated parent, and the alternative support system. Scope of the problem. A lot of it has to do with, and this is not in it, a lot of it has to do with the area of the incarceration. Whether it is crooked cops, which I've seen numerous times, they tend to like to lie out their butt. But I am grateful that now, if they are busted lying, you can ask the judge to put them on the Brady list. What that means is they are no longer a credible witness. Okay, the scope of the problem. The massive increase in incarceration in the United States has been well publicized. In the 1970s, there were around 340,000 Americans incarcerated. Today, there is approximately 2.3 million. One consequence of this dramatic increase is that more mothers and fathers with dependent children are in prison. Since the war on drugs began in the 1980s, for example, the rate of children with incarcerated mothers has increased 100%, and the rates of those with incarcerated fathers has increased more than 75%. You okay?
Yeah.
Are you getting bored?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you grab your coffee?
By the way, the reason I left out your phone is because Dad messaged.
Okay. I'll message him now.
Yeah, a few hours later.
Well, he knows.
It's still too hot.
No, it's not.
Feel mine.
It's the same.
Mine is
But
still too hot.
here is, first and foremost, to Jesus above. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for watching over each and every one of us. Thank you to each and every one of our followers, our subscribers, our families and friends. And thank you to you for being my silly little co-host that I love very much. Cheers.
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 I have a question.
I might have an answer.
What would you do if he asked to marry me?
I'm not sure we will get to that subject when the time comes.
I have an eyelash in my eye.
So yes, there has been an uptick in incarceration around the war on drugs. Do you know the average? Do you know the average? The average of illegal incarcerations. And what I mean by that is the officers that have an issue with certain people and put drugs in their vehicles. That has been going on for generations. It is sick and it is sad. It truly is. Current estimates of the number of children with incarcerated parents vary. One report found that the number of children who have experienced parental incarceration at least once in their childhood may range from 1.7 million to 2.7 million. If this estimate is on target, that means 11% of all children may be at risk. The rate of parenthood among those incarcerated is roughly the same as the rate in the general population. 50 to 75% of incarcerated individuals report having a minor child. So it does irk me. This topic does irk me. It really does. Relying, as we often do, on a few statistics to describe a national phenomenon, we can easily be misled to believe that all segments of the population equally share the burden of paternal incarceration. A closer examination of the numbers, however, reveals that communities of color are more at risk. Data from 2009, the most recent 2007, the most recent data available. Okay. Shows that African American children and Hispanic children were 7.5 times more likely and 2.3 times more likely, respectively, than white children to have incarcerated parents. Also, 40% of all incarcerated parents were African American fathers. The burden of parental incarceration on the communities has changed over time. For example, about 15% of African American children born in the 1970s have had a parent who was incarcerated. 20 years later, that rate has nearly doubled to 28%. Unfortunately, parental incarceration is only one of a series of separation and stressful situations facing children whose parent was involved in the criminal justice system. If we consider the full continuum of the criminal justice process, the arrest, the pretrial, detention, conviction, jail, probation, imprisonment, and parole, the number of children affected is significantly larger. For example, if we include parents who have been arrested, the estimate of affected children raised to 10 million. Although research to date has focused more on children with incarcerated parents than on children with parents in other phases of the system. The two groups may share many of the same risk factors and needs. Policymakers and practitioners must understand these characteristics to develop effective, systematic responses. All right. Hey there, sleepyhead. No, you're sleeping. Hi. I think someone needs to rise. Aww. I just spilt my rice. Wait a minute. There. So, what can you tell me about what you feel about this topic?
It's depressing.
Okay. Be a little bit more elaborate.
I don't exactly know. It upsets me.
Yeah. It upsets me as well. They've got a bit of misinformation in there too. But what do you think of the judicial system and what they do to the parents?
If anything, they just mess the parents up more.
Actually, I agree on that. Because they don't have the proper support systems for those that are on the inside. For the ones that are on the inside, the incarcerated, a lot of times they don't have support system on the outside, and they do end up going down a very bad track. For instance, there was this 21-year-old. He got fifth degree assault, sexual assault. Him and his girlfriend were in the middle of doing something, and her mom walked in. She was 17, he was 21. They didn't do statutory. They did fifth degree sexual assault. Romeo and Juliet law applies there. But it's if they know that law. Yes, I understand he may not be a parent. Uh, but it's the fact that he's incarcerated. For I want to say petty revenge, but it's not so much petty revenge as it is the mom wanting to be spiteful. But I do know the effect of incarceration on children. I myself was incarcerated for child support. And the whole reason that I got arrested was bullcrap. It was over $50. And the judge refused to let me pay for it. I was fully disabled at the time, paralyzed from the belly button down. They didn't care about that. They didn't care I was fighting for disability. They didn't care that I was trying to take care of my other children. They didn't care about that. And so ultimately my elder children ended up suffering. For those of you that don't know, my eldest came to live with me when she was 19. When she was 7 months old, I asked my mother for help because I was in a very abusive relationship. And yes, I have forgiven my mother for the crap she pulled. But not only did it affect me, but it affected my daughter very much so in the outcome. So she made it to where I was arrested. And if it was not for me being with my amazing husband, my other children would have ended up being somewhere. Not with the ones that loved them. Luckily everything was straightened out. And it took 30 days. But it was taken care of. Now other parents, and I would like you guys to comment too if you ever had a loved one that was incarcerated. And if so, what for? Because too many are not realizing that when they search your vehicle without a warrant, that's against the Fourth Amendment right. They search you without a warrant. As long as you do not give them consent, it is against the Fourth Amendment right. Yeah. They pissed me off enough to make me learn the laws. And I don't mean the petty state laws that they use to pretty much bankrupt everyone. Speaking of bankrupting everyone and how they would do that.
I would just tell her, you know what? Screw it. Scooch over. I'm cuddling. I'm tired.
Bro.
All I hear is that dang sheet. That was right.
I am this.
I do need your phone though.
Okay. For what? For what? Okay.
Party.
Inmate commissary money. How much do they get? The amount of commissary money an inmate receives varies widely by jurisdiction. Faculties and individual circumstances. In most U.S. prisons, inmates can fund their own commissary accounts. The amount they have access to is influenced by state budgeting, faculty policies, and the inmate's release status or disciplinary history. This article breaks down typical funding levels, how funds are earned, and particular particular partic-
Particularly.
particular considerations for managing a commissary account while incarcerated. Overview of the commissary funds. Commissary money refers to funds deposited into an inmate's account that can be used to purchase items from the faculty's commissary catalog. These items typically include food, personal care products, writing supplies, and basic recreational goods. Access to funds in government or access to funds is governed by state statute and faculty rules or facility rules, excuse me, with daily and monthly spending caps common in many state systems. Inmates generally do not, or inmates generally must use the faculty's facilities. Sorry, why am I saying faculty? Facilities designed platform to add money. The transactions are monitored by staff for safety and security reasons. Factors that affect the amount available. Facility policy sets the default allowed balance and spending limits. Some prisons cap the total at a modest amount, while others permit higher balances depending on inmate status or disciplinary history. Funding source includes family deposits, inmate earning from work assignment, or trust fund allocations. In some systems, inmates can earn a small wage for work detail programs, or they can actually work off some of their time as well, depending on the program. Inmate classification can influence access. Inmate under disciplinary confinement or with recent rule violations may face strict restricted purchasing options or temporary bans on deposits. Age and medical needs. Age and medical needs may affect allowed items, especially for those requiring specific hygiene or medical supplies, influencing how deposits are spent. Because policies vary, ranges are approximate and meant to illustrate common patterns. Okay, so monthly commissary budget often ranges from $40 to $100 per inmate, with occasional higher allowances for special needs or larger sentences. Average monthly spend is typically between $50 to $120, though high need items or family deposits can push totals higher. Shorter stays and different funding rules can result in smaller monthly allocations, often $20 to $50. Though variability is common. Policies depend on the contract and state oversight. Some offer brighter catalogs and higher caps while remaining conservative. Okay, let's see if they talk about how they rip off the family. Let's see. They are not going to. Are they? No, they're not. What I mean by that is when the family members deposit money into the commissary or even pay for phone time, they get charged a fee. That fee varies between $4 and $10, depending on the amount of money that you are adding into their account. They don't talk about that in the hidden consequences and all of that, which is really irking. Unholy Blue, good morning.
Baby! Finally! Oh, hallelujah. I don't gotta worry about falling asleep without my boyfriend being in here. Yeah!
Uh-huh. Drink coffee.
Okay.
Now she does.
Good morning, baby. I was so bored without you.
So, what many people don't realize is, yes, the judicial system is good for some cases. But other cases, no. Like incarceration for child support. That varies. It depends on who they are. Yonder's biological sperm donor, for instance, had to pay a whole whopping $600 in her entire life. Oh, you don't have to pay anything now because she's over 21. But he barely had to pay. Me, on the other hand, I had to pay a lot for Booza Bear, which is my eldest, because I made the mistake of asking for help to get out of an abusive relationship. Do I regret asking for help? Yes and no. Did it land my butt in jail? Yes, it did. How did you feel when I ended up in jail? Do you remember?
Which time?
I only ended up in jail once. Yes. Sorry, correction twice. Yep, you are correct.
I remember one of them is because I was in the middle of sleeping so
In the back seat.
peacefully.
Yep.
And then I wake up, where's Mama? With my seatbelt unbuckled.
Yeah, cops are stupid.
Which they had to reach around my rear end to get to the buckle.
That one I fought and won, by the way.
That peeved me off. I was little.
So that one, you know the song I fought the law and the law won. In that case, no. I fought the law and I won. But yes, I did spend. My uncle owes $25,000 in child support, and he's not locked up. Exactly. You know, and I owed 50. 50 total. 50.00. Yonder's biological sperm donor. When the judge did say that he had to pay, it varied. Like, he didn't really have to pay crap. And then I know other parents that they're paying out their butt for child support. They miss one payment. They're behind bars. So, yeah, the system is not just when it comes to that. It's not just when it comes to a lot that has to do with the incarcerations. For instance, I had my medical card and I was arrested for cannabis. I had 0.48 grams. You heard that right. 0.48. Not even a whole gram. And they had to scrape to get it. And they were trying to charge me. Well, I went to court and the DA dropped the charges. I had a lawyer that sat there, plea bargain, plea bargain, plea bargain. Why? I had my medical card. Why would I take a plea bargain for something that was legal for me? My uncle never paid a dime because his daughter was taken by the biological mother, took her when he had custody of her. Okay. So why didn't he fight to get her back, if you don't mind me asking? Or actually, we'll talk about that another time. If you would like, have your uncle get a hold of me and we could do a segment on it together. I don't mind. You know, did I take my daughter from her sperm donor? Yes, I did. And I kept her safe. When she was 16, he went to jail for raping a 16-year-old. His new girlfriend's daughter. And when he did it to me, remember me telling you about being paralyzed? Yeah. Marty is live. Thank you, Somnambule Nation. Guess what that means?
No.
Yes. That means it is that time. Somnam, can you throw the link up in the description, please?
Okay.
Let's pin that up there as soon as he gets it in here for me.
Next thing you know, he don't post it.
Alright, guys and girls. If you would like to join us, we are going to say adieu. And go say hello to Marty. What is Marty's topic today, Somnambule Nation?
Hey, baby. Just think if you say hi in there again, he's gonna do it. I need your phone.
Why do you need my phone?
For his live?
I don't know, maybe.
Because you took my Chromebook offline, so I can't use that.
Okay, guys and girls. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you like what you see. Don't forget, if you do like what you see, to subscribe, click the little bell, and smash the like button. And always remember, no matter what life throws at you, or what crazy curveball is thrown your way,
Or parent.
or child, sheesh. At the end of a rainy day is a rainbow. Love y'all. God bless. Mwah.